So I want to thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of the TTE Podcast. And today I've been thinking a lot about this, the space we're in, and trying to be productive. And thought I would share with you guys a conversation that I hope helps in terms of maybe putting some things in order and whatnot. So today I have with me, I'm fortunate enough to have with me a good friend of mine. We go way back, high school. The founder and CEO of the Fortune Over Fame clothing company. My good brother, Rahim. Rahim, how are you?
I'm good, man. Beautiful, man. Thanks for having me, brother.
Man, I'm happy. I'm happy you're here. I want to talk through a little bit about a few subjects, but mostly sort of how you got started and sort of being an entrepreneur and whatnot. So the first thing I want to kind of talk through is what exactly, for the folks that are listening and don't know, what exactly is Fortune Over Fame, the clothing company?
Okay. So Fortune Over Fame is a custom high-end fashion line that right now consists of snapback hats, dad hats, hoodies, hoodie sweatshirts, as well as jackets. Soon to transition into some other products and other pieces, but right now those are the main products that are the makeup of Fortune Over Fame. So I would say it's a high-end online apparel retail store.
Absolutely. And what made you want to start Fortune Over Fame? Or it's like I like to call it F over F.
Okay.
FOF is what
FOF. All right, I'll take that. It just came about via COVID. Just like everyone else, when COVID hit, I was no longer able to go outside. I found myself ordering a lot of different products, whether it was from Amazon or from clothing stores, apparel stores. And one day I just said, you know what, I'm not going to spend another $1 on anyone else's apparel. I'm going to take this opportunity of, being stuck inside the house and see if I can come up with my own apparel, something that I would feel comfortable and feel excited wearing. And that's how it came about.
Absolutely. So let me ask you this. How's it been received so far? Like in terms of your consumers, your target audience, like how has it been received?
Man, the reception has been awesome. I have customers, probably right now when I would say between 25 to 30 of the states throughout North America. So it catches me off guard where I see a order from New Mexico, or order from Alabama, or order from New York, or order from Oregon, or something of that nature. We have people who originate from Ohio, some of the Midwest, that have ventured out and stay in different states all over the country. It started out very small, and it's been rapidly increasing. And now the book of business, like I said, has expanded about 25, 30 states, man. So I would say the reception has been awesome.
So expanding into all those states, how exactly do you feel like the brand is resonating with the folks that are showing interest and showing love in it? Like how, describe that for me.
Well, when I started, my target market was Columbus, Ohio, and surrounding cities throughout Ohio, and then the Midwest. And one thing I know that we have in common here in Ohio is we all have that die-hard loyalty to Ohio. And, my main thing was if I could come up with a product that showcases or highlights that loyalty that we have, especially for the travelers like myself, you, and, some of the other guys from our inner circle. When you get out here and you travel to different states, different cities, different countries, you always run into someone who's from Ohio, who's from that stomping ground. And there's no better feeling, man, when you run across somebody who has on those colors or is representing a city that you know well, and you scream out that OH, and they come back at you with that IO. Yeah, so, my thing was all about building like a level of comfort, through a product, and, taking advantage of people, in my inner circle and their immediate family and friends, and hoping it would continue to spread out, like a ripple. And that ripple effect is definitely coming.
So it sounds like people are really resonating with the brand.
Definitely.
They really you have satisfied customers.
Definitely.
You built that brand, and there seems to be a buzz about it. I mean, I've noticed the buzz about it because I've seen people that I know through their social media, like really show the brand off and really do that. So one of the reasons why I wanted to have you on this podcast is because you've always been a bit of an entrepreneur. That I'm known, like I said, we go back. We don't need to talk about how far that is, but
of course.
But we go back. So you've always had that sort of spirit about you to sort of do a business for yourself. Like talk to me a little bit about, have you always been that way?
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely worked my share of jobs. I mean, I'm still working to this day, but there's been times where I had, save up for college. I had 2 or 3 jobs, or, after school, end up having 3 or 4 jobs. And one thing I knew for certain was that after so long, I didn't want to work for someone else.
Right.
I always knew I wanted to work for myself, or at least have some type of side business or something, some type of hustle going for myself. It just took me a while to find out what that would be. You recall I went from throwing parties to throwing events at different venues and concerts and so on and so forth, and then transitioning now into retail. It was something I always wanted to do. I needed to find out how to go about doing it. But as far as being an entrepreneur, I always wanted to say I was in that space. I just needed to find out how I could, make it happen and utilize my skill set.
And see, that's kind of what I want to get into. Like, what is it that's attractive about being an entrepreneur? Is it more about trying to find like the space you just described?
Mm-hmm. That's a good question. I think one of the most amazing things about it is when you, and I just use myself as an example. I mean, being that you are directing the question to me, I'll use Fortune over Fame, the fashion industry, and I'm not that deep into it, but just as far as scratching the surface and where I'm at, there's no better feeling, man, than knowing that you created something and someone else appreciates it the way that you do.
Right.
And I know earlier you said something along the lines of that can be a fuel or a driving force. And I think that's one of the best things with being an entrepreneur is being able to obtain that feeling, the feeling of when you put in your hard work and created something, whether it was an idea or what have you, but someone else appreciates it the way that you do. Mm-hmm. You get a kick out of that. Like, wow, they see my vision, or wow, they appreciate my hard work that I put in. And I think that becomes addictive. And once you realize that you can continue to get that high and also make some type of financial gain, you put the two together, you're like, man, I got to find a way I can make this work, because this is a stress reliever. And when I do become stressful from it, it's good stress, because it's I'm trying to meet a deadline of doing something that I love to do, or please a customer, or help someone look fly, or so that feeling comes back 360.
Yeah, absolutely. And how long has the brand been around?
The brand itself, I would say about 4 months.
Okay, so it's
brand new. Started in the middle of COVID, 2020.
Right. And why start in the middle of COVID?
Like I said, I got tired of spending money with other merchants, and also, COVID to this day is keeping a lot of us inside. So it provided an opportunity and a space to become creative.
Right.
And, through that creativity, Fortune over Fame was born. It spawned from COVID. Fortune over Fame is actually a child of COVID. Just like a lot of other great ventures, even with the podcast that we're currently on now.
Yeah, COVID birthed it.
Yeah. So, COVID, some time by myself, and then just admiring other people too. That's one thing I didn't mention is, I always thought I was a fly dude. I always thought I could get fly, but I also was surrounded by other dudes who I thought were fly as well.
Right.
Dudes who I did mimic, mock, try to go get their same clothes or what have you, and wear it when I wasn't around them. You know what I'm saying? I see somebody flip or bounce something real hot, and I'm like, damn, that's crazy. Let me see if I can get that same outfit and wear it when I'm nowhere around them. So all of that together, but COVID gave me the opportunity to sit down and think it through.
Okay, absolutely. And so, like I mentioned before, like you've been in this entrepreneurial space for a while. What have you learned through all this?
Oh man, that's a good question. I would say the most important thing that I've picked up is, believing in yourself,
right,
and not questioning yourself. If you do believe in yourself wholeheartedly, and you put your best foot forward and try to push your brand, it may not happen overnight, because it hasn't happened overnight for me.
Right.
But it will happen. But the main thing is just about keep pushing forward and having that faith in yourself.
Okay.
Because you'll find that, if you don't go all the way in 10 toes down, you're going to end up, you're not going to get the reward that you deserve.
Okay. Absolutely. So what advice would you have for someone who's getting into this space for the first time, like is trying to launch something new? Like what advice would you have for someone who's starting off brand new?
Well, to piggyback my last answer, I would say, and this is going to be a little mixed up, but I would say, have faith in your work, have faith in your skill, have faith in your knowledge, and for those who are trying to get into, like you said, the apparel and things like that, do your research, find out what's fly.
Yeah, do the math.
Yeah, do the math. 1 + 1 still equal 2. Do your research, find out what's fly, and just because if you see something that people don't think is fly, but you think is fly, it's still cool.
Right.
But you have to make it fly to other people. So do your research and find out what's going on, what's hot.
Right.
And, ask questions. Luckily I know a few people who own boutiques and things like that, and I got a couple of dudes that I think is, they can put their stuff together.
Right.
So I'm still in bits and pieces from everybody. But definitely do your research and make sure there is a market for your ideas. Make sure you do have a target audience that you can tap into, and make sure you know how to tap into that target audience and try to differentiate yourself from, your competitors. Because if you keep your eye open, just even here in Columbus, Ohio, and I know because over the last few months, I've tapped into, other people in apparel and that line, that field.
Right.
Man, everybody's coming up with a clothing line right now. There are a few people who already had it popping, whether it be clothing line, hat line, any type of apparel. But within like the last 2 weeks, I've seen.
Wow, 2 weeks?
Man, the last 2 weeks. Now, not saying that they haven't been working on it for years, for the last 6 months, but in the last 2 weeks, man, I could think of at least 3 clothing lines that popped up. I was like, damn. Okay. And, some people have, well, not even some, most of all of them have more followers than I do. They may have I don't think anybody, and it's just me being honest, I don't think anyone has a further reach than me.
Gotcha.
But people do have a stronger grasp here. If I was living in Columbus, it'd be over. If I was here, I could play voicemails for you. People like, man, I need a jacket, man. If you was here, it'd be over. Like, if I was on the ground,
and you could run them?
Oh, if I was on the ground, it'd be a different story. But I respect and I got love for everybody who's doing it. But I'm just saying, I've seen some in the last 2 weeks. I'm like, damn. All y'all got clothing lines? But, it is what it is, man.
So what's the one thing that you wish you would have known? Like, because you've been in this space for a long time, whether it's the parties, shows, or what you're doing now. So, like, what's the one thing you wish you would have known that you know now that you didn't know then?
I wish I would have just bet on myself I wish I would have had more faith in myself up front, because when I started off, I had a plan, and I was on fire about a few certain products, and when it didn't take off the way I wanted it to at first, even though it gradually, I haven't had any true downtime, but when it took off. It was nice, had great momentum.
Right.
But then I was like, oh, this thing will die down, and I don't want to be stuck with product.
Right.
It never died down though. It slowed down, but it never died.
And that's a nice problem to have.
Exactly. But I ended up putting myself in a certain situation because I didn't have the belief in myself that I could keep it going.
Right.
So that was definitely a challenge for me. So I would say, just go into things knowing you could win, even if it's so many hurdles in your way. Go into things knowing you could win. I wish I would have had that attitude when I first started, instead of saying, I'm going to take a chance.
Gotcha.
It's a difference between saying I'm going to take a chance and I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
So just that mind state, man. I wish I would have came into it with a different mind state. And anything else? I wish also I was more in tune with that, like the younger generation, the music they're listening to, and their lifestyle, because all of that influences their look as well. I wish I was more tapped in.
That's your future market, right?
Yeah, I wish I was more tapped in there.
Yeah, that's your future market, and you're right. I think about the music, but that's another.
Yeah, totally
conversation.
Another discussion.
I'm not hating on nobody. I'm just saying there's just differences, and as you get older, that's what I'm saying. So what's next from a fortune over fame perspective? What's next? What is the next 6 months, a year? What does that look like?
So right now I'm pushing the winter line with the jackets and the hoodies. I'll be adding some additional products to that. I'm also having some conversations now with a few boutiques between Columbus, Ohio, as well as Detroit, where I'm trying to work out getting my products in those boutiques. So you don't have to just purchase, online. You can actually go to a storefront and actually purchase my products. So I got that going on. Doing some networking out in Cali right now, networking in LA, where we might be doing some cross marketing, some type of joint ventures out there with a few boutiques. So now it's just basically trying to find a way to corner the market and continue to put my product in front of people.
Okay, absolutely. Well, again, I want to thank you for taking time out, because I know you stepped in the city to do some other things.
Yes, sir.
In terms of the brand and whatnot, but I want to thank you for carving out some time to come and holler at me, because this is something I've been wanting to do for a while, is have a conversation about sort of this space and the brand and how you got started and everything, man. So I just appreciate the time and the effort.
All day, man. You're definitely family, and I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to speak on the platform and have me out, man. So it's definitely an honor. Anytime.
Absolutely. And please go check out fortuneoverfame.com. If you're looking for really something fresh, something new, something that's Ohio, something that's unique and specific to us in terms of being from Ohio, I would encourage you guys to check that out. So again, Rahim, thank you so much for coming through. Appreciate it, and we'll have to link up, because I'm sure there's probably 80 or 90 stories that that we could get into,
of course,
at some point. But we can maybe check for that for another day.
Awesome, man. Again, thank you for having me, man. Peace and love. I appreciate you, boss.
Yeah, no doubt. Absolutely. But there are a few questions that I do want to ask you.
I thought you got additional questions?
A few questions I want to ask you.
Okay.
And I'm only doing this because I just want to have a little fun and stir up some shit around my people.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're not comfortable answering any of these questions, you can pass. I'm not going to force you into that. But a few questions I've been thinking about, and I want to spark a conversation with my people. The whole time we were in high school together, I want to know
what?
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to know who was the best athlete the whole time we were in high school. Who was, in your opinion, the best athlete?
Whew. Oh man, all around athlete.
All around athlete.
Per sport.
Because if I'm not saying per sport, because to me, in my personal opinion, if you go per sport, it's a different name.
Okay.
I'm talking about across the board, from when you were there.
From being a freshman to a senior.
Yeah.
Okay, so.
Yeah. In your window.
Who is in my grade or who I got opportunity to see?
Who you saw. Who was the best athlete you saw?
Dang. Okay, so I'm going to tell you in advance, the person to me who was the best all-around athlete that I saw, that went to our school,
that we went to school with.
This person wasn't the most well-known basketball player, the most well-known football player, but I guarantee you could put him on any field and he would show out. Man, I don't know if I want to say this. Let me just make sure that I've seen in my tenure at.
Can I at least guess who you're going to say?
I guarantee there's no way that you know who I'm going to say, but go ahead.
This is a guess. Dante Hawkins.
No, but Dante was a hell of an athlete. He was one of those all-around athletes. However, I forgot about Tay. He was a dog. But he wasn't. Yeah, he was a dog, but man, he was an athlete. The most athletic person that I've seen.
That you saw. Yeah.
I don't care what nobody say. I seen this boy play ball. I also seen him throw a 90-mile-an-hour fastball around the way.
Oh, I need to know who this is.
The best all-around athlete that I've seen. That I think could have picked up anything.
You define best however you want to.
That could have picked up any ball, any bat, any piece of equipment that goes into sports and succeeded.
Yeah.
The best all-around athlete I've ever seen at our school. Yeah, I'll take my time with this. I'm not gonna lie to you, and I'm not gonna lie to you.
If you say nobody, I'm done.
The best all-around athlete I've seen. I'm gonna give you a couple, but the first.
Okay, yeah, give me a couple.
The first is Aurelius Flowers.
Yes.
Not that many people would say that.
No.
Not that many people know, but.
Well, let me say this. I did not see him play football. I believe he did. I didn't see it.
But you see his build? He was like Bo Jackson.
But I believe he played football because he played basketball as if he was a football player.
Yeah, and he was supposed to go play Major League Baseball.
You couldn't set a hard screen.
I seen him dunk in a pair of cleats.
Yeah, like you could set a screen on him and he would hurt.
I gotta send him a hat or a jacket out there to. Is he in Cashville, Tennessee, or Memphis?
I think it's Cashville.
Yeah, I think he's in Cashville. Shout out to my boy Aurelius Flowers. He had a workout thing on IG right now too.
Get at me.
I think it's something get fit or something like that. But all around athlete.
Yeah,
I'm going Aurelius Flowers or I'm going Bryant Maddox.
Brian Maddox. Really?
Yeah.
And I'm listening. No shade. No, I'm not saying that Brian Maddox was an athlete, and I'm not questioning that. I'm just surprised at that name. That's not the name I expected.
He wasn't the best football player. He wasn't the best basketball player, but he could play several. Right. I'm just telling. Looking at somebody, they could pick up anything. Brian Maddox was an athlete.
Got you.
And
I believe you when you say that.
And Denny Delaney.
Oh, I forgot about it. But Denny was a senior when I was a freshman.
Yeah.
So I knew of him, but I didn't know him. Mm-hmm. But I can remember going to football games. Denny Delaney with the carry.
Mm-hmm. Now he wasn't. The best football athlete I've seen. I'm gonna ride with Rick all day as far as a halfback.
Right.
He was the best. Him and Dante was the two best halfbacks I've ever seen.
Okay.
From our school. The best hooper. I don't care what nobody say.
Well, hold on. Before we go to let me be fair. The best two athletes that I remember seeing when we were in school were Dante and Jerry Rockwell.
Jerry was there too. Jerry could pick up anything.
And I'm saying that because
I was going to say Jerry.
I hooped with both of them.
Yeah, I'm tripping. I don't know why I didn't say Jerry.
And Jerry in small spaces was super quick.
Yeah.
And could get to where he needed.
I forgot track. Yeah, Jerry might have edged out.
Yeah.
I don't know how. Yeah, Jerry might have edged out Aurelius.
And honestly, like.
Because Jerry was just pure athlete.
I was thinking before you said Aurelius. If I had to go back and evaluate now, I'd be like, I don't know. Because he was stupid athletic. Like, he showed up and honestly, it was like, clearly you're not from here.
But if you wanted me to, if they had to guard each other, or if you wanted to pick the two and pick up in basketball, I'm going Aurelius. His D was retarded. Yeah. He was so strong, and he was fast and quick.
Right.
But yeah, Jerry, all around athlete, I might have to go with old Jerry because Jerry was an athlete.
Now, who was the best athlete in our class?
Eric Spraggins. Well, no. Hold on. An athlete in our class?
Athlete.
I'm going to tell you another one. That people didn't know. I mean, I don't know, man. Athlete that could play anything, though? Elliot Robinson was an athlete.
But for my class, our class, to me, there's only one answer here.
Brandon was an athlete.
Brandon was an athlete, but there's only really one answer here in my mind.
Who?
And Gabe Romanbeck. Because Gabe played football and graduated and went to TCU. He played football at TCU.
Oh, he did?
He did. Now,
I love Gabe Romanbeck.
I hoop with Gabe.
Yeah.
I hoop with Gabe since I was 10.
Yeah.
He played both.
Yeah.
And
Gabe Romanbeck was a good dude. He had a brother too, did he?
What?
Did Gabe have a brother?
Oh, yeah, Josh.
Josh Romanbeck.
Josh, and then he's got two younger twins. They all hoop. They were like,
Gabe was a good dude.
Yeah, they were like John Berry and Skip Berry and like Drew Berry. They're just basketball players everywhere.
I see it. I can see him smiling.
Now shout out to Romanbeck. You guys are always cool. So now, the best hooper you saw. The best hooper that you saw for the time you were there.
All right,
I'm saying this because we had some hoopers.
Listen, the best hooper I seen at Gahanna, P was a dog. I can't front. P was a dog. My favorite hooper at Gahanna.
Right there, give me your favorite.
Man, my favorite hooper is probably Tony Reed. Okay. He just had something different. Like I seen Tony drop like 30 on Eastmore down at the whatchamacallit, at the fairgrounds. I was like in 8th or 9th grade. Not that many people even knew about him at that time.
Yeah.
Tony was just a dog, man, and he had a smooth game.
Exactly what I was going to say. Tony was smooth.
Yeah, P was a dog. I can't front on P. But we all know if he would have got in anybody's weight room, if he would have did anything to work on his game, not saying he didn't work on his game, but if he would have went through that whole process that everybody else went through, we all know, I don't care what grade you was in, we all know nobody could touch Eric Spraggins. If E. Spraggins would have worked on his game like everybody else did, period.
Two quick stories. One, and P knows this because I've told him this many times. he is a large reason why I ended up being good enough to be considered going to college to play ball. Because in my mind at that time, he was so much better than me in my mind that I went into every practice thinking, whatever I do today, I am not getting embarrassed in this practice. In my mind, he was that much better than me. In my mind,
he was a monster,
and to your point, he was a dog.
Yeah, he was a dog.
I will just say that the teams that I was on with him, which are pretty much my sophomore and junior year, those teams had the worst chemistry. Specifically, my junior year, because our talent was bananas, and we won 6 games.
Yeah, our talent was crazy,
and we won 6 games because our chemistry was terrible. But I would say Bess Cooper. I would say it's talent from what I saw, but I would say Eric is it's like 1A and 1B. And I'm saying this because when it comes to Eric, and specifically those of us that came out of middle school together, me, Eric, B, Marshall, Brian Napier, like there's a certain chemistry, Gabe included, that we had sort of coming up together. So when we got to high school or whatever, everybody sort of fell out, blah, blah, blah. But I stayed. But the point is that I just didn't want to get embarrassed by P. So to me, like Eric Spraggins, because when we would scrimmage as sophomores, when we would scrimmage as sophomores, we killed them.
Early.
He knows this.
Early.
Me, Mondale, Eric,
you must die.
Like we were killing them in practice. Sam would call timeout, yell at them. We were sophomores.
I believe it.
Sophomores.
I've heard this.
And then we come back and then they beat us. Look like they could do. But Eric's ability.
If Eric would have went through the same conditioning, because he ended up going away. Remember, he left and came back. If he would have went through the same condition and had the same focus, Eric was to the lead. Eric was beyond. You got to think about how smooth his game was and how lanky and tall he was.
Seeing it in practice every day.
And he had handle. He was Kevin Garnett without. He would have been if he would have went to conditioning and did all that, he would have been on Kevin Garnett's level with handle. With handle and J work.
His game was Lamar Odom.
Yeah.
That's who he was.
Yeah.
He wasn't Garnett, he was Lamar Odom. Because he could cross you if you fell asleep. He could pull it, look passes like he had it all. And I'm saying all this to say I'm frustrated because you only get so many shots in life. And I played with some cats where we really had a chance. And we didn't necessarily take opportunity. And we were young, but we didn't take advantage of that opportunity.
He played like the one cat, R.I.P. him, the one cat from Harlem. They nicknamed him the Black Widow. I forget that cat's name. He ended up passing away. Alamo. He was the same body style too. Eric was a monster, but T. Reed had fight. See, we didn't get a chance to see Eric develop. That's what I'm saying. If he would have developed, if he'd have played 4 years, he was to any school. If he would have put, man, imagine him working out 5-10 pounds. Man, he'd have been a monster.
So I'm gonna give it to you. Think about it this way. When we were seniors, here's who could have been the team, but for one reason or another, it wasn't. Your point guards are Marshall and Antoine Hayes.
Oh, man.
Your 2 guard is Gabe and B. Your small forward spot is...
So Gabe is shooting?
Yeah, he's 2 guard.
All right. Your small
forward is Eric and Martin Cochran.
Okay.
Your 4 spot is Dave Reed and Chris Copeland. Mm-hmm. That's not getting you excited. And then your 5 spot is me and Kyle Masoris.
Boo. Because a lot of cats got on there just because of height, man. Like, you have talent. Like, you have skill. I would do...
But our crunch time 5 probably would have been me, Eric, Brandon, Mondale, and probably Gabe. Or Marshall.
I would have did... Oh, man. I would have did Marshall at the 1.
Because Marshall was Penny Hardaway to me. I've been with him at JFK where I've seen him like in the night at JFK gambling on somebody. Marshall was Penny Hardaway to me.
I would have did Marshall at the 1, but at the...
I want him off the ball.
Yeah, see, that's the thing.
I want him off the ball. Marshall's at his best when he's off the ball attacking. None of that bringing the ball up, crossing you over. I want him on the wing, crossing you up, attacking. No look passes and everything.
Yeah.
You know how many times I dropped a pass to Marshall and he cussed me out for that?
See, that's what I'm saying, but then...
You know what I'm saying?
He couldn't be the 2.
2.
Yeah, but the 2 don't really... I don't know.
He only played the 1 when Brian Napier ran the 2.
Yeah.
Napier was a sniper.
Yeah, Brian Napier had a clip.
Yeah.
I probably would have, if Marshall really perfected his J wasn't that bad, but if he perfected it, I'd have had Antoine at the 1.
He's going to have beef with you if he hears this.
He perfected his J probably still trash. I don't know. But no, I'm just saying his J got better over time. When he actually worked on it after high school.
I remember being scared of his J.
He could shoot.
He was playing down at OU.
He can shoot.
That's when I really got scared.
You know I'm telling the truth. I'm Marshall's biggest fan and his worst critic. But I would say Antoine. See, it's hard because Marshall can create better than Antoine. There's not too many people who can create like Marshall. Like Marshall can go to the hole and dish to you crazy. You open, you don't even know it.
And having played with both, I would tell you that skill was even.
But I would go Antoine.
They could both drop a dime and they could do it and they could be...
Yeah, I would go Antoine at the 1, Marshall as a shooting and penetrating 2.
Okay.
I would go... See, I'm greasy with mine. I'm trying to come in and kill you. I would go... So are we doing our class? Or no, we doing...
You do our class.
Well, Antoine's still there though. But I'm going Eric. I'm going Spraggins at the 3 because I'm trying to come with that heat. Okay. At the 4, I'm going to put either you. See, I don't know. I can't think of anybody taller than you in our class.
There really wasn't.
I probably would put you at the 5.
Oh, I'm playing the 5.
I'm putting you at the 5, and I'm putting. Man, I'm at the 4. I'm probably going.
See, I think you need to slide Eric to the 4 and put Mondale and Mark.
Oh, I forgot about Mondale.
Yeah.
But Mondale wasn't there. I never seen Martin put no work in. I may go Mondale.
If you slide Eric to the 4. And then Mondale at the 3, with Marshall at the 2, and Antoine at the 1.
I'm going in shape, ready to play Kiki at the 3.
Oh, now we're talking.
And I'm going Eric I'm going Eric at the 4. I'm going you at the 5.
That is seriously one of the great. That is one of the great. Unknown mysteries in our lifetime.
I came to play in shape, slim.
The ultimate what if
at the 3. Fuck what anybody talking about. He is gonna kill you. I don't care what nobody say. Kiki in shape. All you see is head and arms and knees.
Thank you. That's exactly the point I was trying to get to.
Kiki in shape.
Listen.
Oh man, he about to drag you, buddy.
Listen.
He about to kill you.
He was Tony Kukoc before there was Tony Kukoc.
Well, what?
We will never be able to
in shape Kiki? Oh, that's That's just like playing Eric Spraggins. Their game was exactly the same.
Listen,
but Kiki was a better shooter.
He was like Tony. Listen, honest to God, and Tony Kukoc is not fair. Honest to God, Kiki really was Luka Doncic.
Yeah.
He could handle the rock and he could shoot it.
He'll shoot
he was
deep
good.
on you
And
too.
he was good from 20, 25 feet out. Like,
that's where he pulling from.
Christ. If Kiki would have played with us, Jesus.
But what anybody got to say, excuse my French, I'm putting that in shape, ready to ball, Kiki at the 3, and we coming to slaughter everything.
Everything.
Because everybody, good Lord, he running that. Oh my goodness.
The U.S. trash.
Everybody, University of Miami is getting pounded. Everybody on that court can take you. You could call ISO for every person. You could call ISO and Kiki and Eric at the same time. Oh, they about to ice you, buddy. It's over. It is a skinny in shape Kiki with an in shape.
Now,
Eric Spraggins.
Let me say this. So I would take, now that you say that, in our class, my 5 is myself, Eric, Kiki. I'll take B and Marshall. And
I would have B in there
class,
too.
and I would put that up against anybody. I would put that up against anybody's class that where we overlap. I would put that. I would take those. Those would be my 5.
Well, I mean, which one called them? Tone and them would come through and smoke y'all still though. Like Tone, Jerry, Tim Harvey, Tony Reed, and whoever else. Y'all were toast.
You never get me to admit to that. Till we make that happen, you never get me to admit to that.
Jerry, Tony.
Jerry and Tony would have been a problem.
But
that would have been my problem.
Listen, Jerry.
I'd have had Terry West and Brad DeSilva.
Jerry.
I could have held my own there.
Jerry, Tony, Tim Harvey, P, and
shout out to Boone. Shout out to P.
And anybody else would have gave y'all.
You gotta stay in your class.
Well, who's not in that class? No, Jerry and Tony is a class ahead of them.
Like 2 years ahead of them.
So even P's class would be P, Tim, Luke.
No,
well, Luke was ahead of them. P, Tone, P, Boone. I don't think that. Tim Jennings.
Yeah.
And
Adrian would have been in there.
Adrian, yeah. Maybe height. Height would have been a problem, but
no, Adrian was 6'7". You can't teach that.
But not Tim, but Tone and Jerry. I don't remember that they had Big Head Woody on their team. I don't remember who else.
Yeah, they had Woody.
He could shoot, but they didn't have any. They didn't have 5 dogs like how y'all. It would have been 5 dogs. Yeah. But if you're talking about, because Tim and P did play varsity at that time.
Yeah.
I
was behind them.
If you had,
there was so much told.
If you had Jerry at the 1, Tone at the 2, Boone, who was a center?
Brad DeSilva, Terry West,
Terry. It don't even matter. Terry West at the 5, P at the 3, and Boone Harvey at the 4. Man, you got some problems. You got problems. Because P could take it off the dribble.
Yeah.
Tone is lights. Tone is fireworks, period. And as a point guard, Jerry is about to...
You say that like P was better than Spraggins.
He was because he was conditioned.
Okay.
He worked, he went through the system. If Eric went through the system, nobody would be better than Eric Spraggins. I'm telling you. When P was healthy, if you put his weight on Eric Spraggins, forget about it, man. Eric didn't work out. He didn't go through that process. He never was in shape basketball, like basketball shape. No, nigga was gone in the streets. If you had him disciplined and conditioned, what? With that, if he gained 5 to 10 pounds of muscle mass, was working on his jumps, and man, you crazy? If he was shooting 100 shots a day like everybody else was in practice, Eric Spraggins, man, what? So I'm saying, you're not listening to what I'm saying. If you took him and put him through the same practice measurements and drills that everybody else that was on the team went through, are you serious, man? He about to. I put him up. I would put Eric up at that time against anybody in the city.
Now I will tell you I felt like one of the more underrated athletes that we went to school with was Brian Ross.
Brian Ross was an athlete too.
Brian Ross was an athlete because he was my neighbor.
Brian Ross was an athlete. I seen him play ball, football, basketball. He could play baseball too. Brian Ross was an athlete.
Yeah, Brian Ross is an athlete. That's the other person I was thinking about. All right, man, we should probably wrap this up. I know I caught you off guard with that, but I had to take advantage of the fact that you was here because I really want to see some
no
conversation.
Doubt. Who was
If you're a U fan, you should probably find a clip. 116 or whatever this is. This is terrible.
Yeah, and UNC out there talking trash too.
Absolutely. Like they own the building.
I'll tell you just real quick. I'll throw this in on you. Who also inspired me with the fashion and the apparel, just to tie it back in. Oh man, they are really. Oh my God. Is he gonna hawk him down? Wow. If anyone from North Carolina hears this podcast,
slap the first person you see from Miami.
I mean, you guys are dogging them. I'm gonna just say the flies when it came to the gear and everything. Well, I mean, we already know who that was in our class. Hands down, it was B.
Yeah.
B was. Yeah. B still.
It was always I always remember it was always something Nautica I'd never seen before.
Nautica, Tommy, he had it all. And just a quick shout out to him because he inspires me to this day with the gear. He may not know it, but his shoe game in his closet has always been infinite. Always been infinite.
Speaking of his shoe game, do you remember that time we were at his crib? And I remember we were sitting there and you were like, yeah, I'm about to get him now. And you told him that his shoe game was weak.
Yeah.
And he pulled out.
He put out his best shoes.
He put out 20 pairs of exclusive shoes.
And stacked them in the middle of the floor. Yeah, I remember that.
Talking about, oh, my shit ain't sweet.
I'm about to tell him that again here in a couple of weeks just to see how far I could push him.
Oh my God!
I think his sister just called me too because I got to give her a sweatshirt. That's probably why she called me.
Yep, no doubt. So, all right, man. You got anything else? I asked the questions I wanted to ask. I just wanted to get you on the record. I want to spark some conversation. So if I have future guests, I want to be able to draw back and be like, hey, like in your opinion, like what's what? Because I would never say that I was the best athlete.
Yeah.
I would just tell you that I was.
You was a dog. I played with you.
I was a dog. Like I played my role. I held it down and was a good teammate. I was more like Kendrick Perkins.
Yeah, definitely. What's the last you just said? Oh, anything else I want to say? Anyone who has supported me, thank you. Anyone that has pushed me, thank you. I'm nowhere near where I want to be, but I am taking steps. I'm just trying to continue to press forward. Just please continue to uplift me if you can. With your powerful words. Please continue to push my product. I always try to be loyal to quality and loyal to my people and loyal to what I believe in. And that's quality over quantity. If anyone out there has, happen to purchase any of my products, I definitely appreciate you. If you have any criticism, even constructive criticism or bad, I take it good and bad. And I appreciate that as well, because that means you taking some time out to think about, me and what I'm doing. Please hit up the Instagram, Fortune Over Fame Clothing, the website, fortuneoverfame.com. That's about it, man. If you got any dope ideas, shoot them to me, man. I love collaborating, and two minds are better than one.
No doubt. All right, man. Thank you for coming on, man. I appreciate it, man. We'll have you back soon, man. This was fun. We'll do it again.
No doubt, man. I appreciate it.
All right.
Peace.
Peace.